What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 213. And we start today's episode off with some player training and some bonus player training in today's episode as well. Gotta love that bonus player training. Before diving into the first game of today's episode, away in London to take on Fulham here in the Premier League. Coming on the back of our defeat to Chelsea by a goal to nil at Bramall Lane. And of course, right now, approaching this game, sat in 5th place in the table. We know after the board asked us to win the treble this season, being asked to win the Premier League for the first time in the series, we need to pick it up. Already this season, we had a couple of defeats and a draw added to the list as well. We cannot afford too many slip-ups between now and Christmas if we are to be in a serious title race this season. So taking on Fulham away from home right now towards the bottom end of the table, needing to respond here and return to winning ways. And the first chance fell just 5 minutes in as Pierre Rocher plays a lovely defence-splitting ball to find Elliot Harris, who opens the scoring and gives us the lead inside the first 7 minutes. And I've got to say this right now, Pierre Rocher to start the campaign off has been our unsung hero. Already a couple of goals to his list this season, and yet another assist as well. I think that's already assist number 4 or 5 to begin the campaign off. Lovely through ball. Harris latches onto it, takes the time, takes a touch, and takes it around the covering defender before finding the back of the net. So Fulham behind early, 1-0 to the place, but the lead did not last long. 11 minutes in there, number 10 goes down left hand side here, and as I was jockeying with Todibo, I must admit this was pretty poor defending from myself here. I didn't want to commit and watch him run circles around me, so I jockeyed, held off a little bit, but I gave him the space to take it round to number 15 and squeeze it in at the near post past Sam Hill as Fulham found their leveller. So 1-1, and in the 20th minute they almost took the lead as well. This shot hitting the post and rolling across the goal line before Bogle puts it behind for a corner. So very action-packed first half here at Craven Cottage. Still tied at 1-1 and really not playing our best football and looking like we could be set for back-to-back defeats. But in the 37th minute, as Shaw sprints down the left-hand side, he rolls it across and Barry Walsh gets his second goal of the season as the Blades boys link up for our second of the match and make it 2-1. Shaw gets his third assist of the campaign. He could have had like 6 or 7 already this season had my finishing been better and he had a little bit more luck. But he gets one here, rolls it to Barry, who does the rest. One touch, clean strike, and Elliot Harris as well. Give him the sort of unofficial assist, if you will, for ducking out of the way whilst also obstructing the goalkeeper's line of view as well. So Fulham 1, Sheffield United 2 as we approached half-time, and in the second half there were no chance to report whatsoever as we held on to a big 3 points and bounce back victory away at Craven Cottage. So 2 on the final score, and again, as I mentioned before, these are the games here where really they are so tough to win. I mean, they're grind out victories. This one certainly was. We won it with our only 2 shots in the game. It's so hard to create chances against these teams, even when you think they would be quite easy based on the current ability of teams on paper. But this is just kind of the problem with FIFA Career Mode right now with the patch. As I mentioned it so many times before, and I know I sound like a broken record, but those games there are harder to win than the bigger games. And speaking of the bigger games, for the second of 3 in today's episode here, we would have a massive game away in the capital of France as we would take on Paris Saint-Germain at the Parc des Princes for the 3rd game of the Champions League group stage. And of course, when the groups were drawn, put in Group D alongside PSG, Inter Milan and the Danish side FC Midtjylland, we knew it was going to be a really difficult group for us. Inter Milan we had some really good battles with in the 2 years we spent at Roma at the Stadio Olimpico. We faced them back-to-back in the Coppa Italia finals during those 2 years. We know how good those guys are. PSG, as we know, one of the richest clubs in the game, we're one of the best teams in the world, and also have the best player in the game, the highest rated player, Kylian Mbappe, 95 overall, at his potential right now, at his full potential, playing at his peak. This was going to be a really tough game, with both teams off to 100% starts, winning their first 2 games. Whoever wins this game would have a massive luxury knowing they'll be at least 6 points clear of 3rd place and 3 points clear of 2nd place. So neither team could afford to lose this game here, and both teams were so desperate for the win. But early on to the game, well, I mentioned him earlier, the best player in the game opened the scoring inside the first 10 minutes. Kylian Mbappe getting on the end of that cross there and making it 1-0 as the host took a very early lead in the 32nd minute. They almost went 2-0 up, surrendered possession with Reece James. Nicolo Barella was sent forward, but Sam Hill denies him with a very good stop on the 1-on-1. So it's still down by a goal goal, but just before the break, Abrechi Eze beats Tim Raum, formerly of Bayer Leverkusen, finds Elliot Harris, who takes it around the German with the step over, cuts inside, but his shot was well saved by Livakovic as it was still 1-0, and we were still searching for an equalising goal. And in the second half, right from kickoff here, how about this for a run from Jayden Bogle? But he just couldn't hit the target with a shot, going wide over the far post. It was still 1-0. We were growing in confidence after a tough start, finally had a foothold in the game here, and 20 minutes after the restart, Eze storms down the right hand side, takes it around Pedroza, rolls it across to the centre, and arriving late is Tyler Allen. Steps into the area and first time strike with the left boot, smacks it past the Croatian and finds our leveller. Our number 11 with the finish, I believe his first goal of the season, as he makes it PSG 1, Sheffield United 1. Great run by Eze, and as well, what a signing of Brecci has been since we brought him back to Bramwell Lane back in January last season. He's been fantastic. He might be 29 years old now, almost 30, but he still knows how to set them up. 1-1, back on level terms there. Lovely ball into the middle, and Allen did the rest. So 1-1, but with 17 minutes to go, how about this? Palacios takes it round to Debo, and after I give the ball away with the centre-back here, oh my word, Sam Bloody Hill. Extraordinary goalkeeping by our number 1 as he bails me out there, and we hold on for the point. Todibo took it off his man but then surrendered possession directly afterwards. Mbappe took the shot from close range. Hill got enough of a touch on the ball to slow the pace of it down, but it was still about to cross the line, and talk about recovery from our number 1. Gets up to his feet, claws it off the line with fingertips, and then makes an extraordinary save as the follow-up attempt is cleared off the line after he turns it onto the post and Brian Gonzalez hoofs it into touch. Sam Hill this season, I know I've sung his praises so many times, but honestly he deserves every bit of love we've given him. He has been an incredible goalkeeper since we returned, and that was remarkable. An amazing double save there, and again to make the first save initially, but then the ball still trickling over the line. Gonzalez is right next to him as well, so he's got to sort of take his own teammate out to claw the ball off the line, then get up and make the follow-up save as well. That piece of goalkeeping there by Sam Hill, extraordinary, and he's the reason why we left PSG with a point. So final score 1-1. As you can see, halfway through the group we are top but only by a single goal clear of PSG, and both us and the French side are 4 points clear of Inter Milan in third place. Poor old FC Midtjylland, as we expected, halfway through the group, still yet to get a point, and dead certs to finish with the wooden spoon right now. So yeah, our following game is going to be against Paris Saint-Germain at Bramwell Lane, and if we can win that, we'll go 3 points clear of the French side and 4 points clear of Inter Milan as well. So real luxury to know that we still haven't tasted defeat yet, and we still got FC Midtjylland and also PSG to come at home. But if we don't get off to a good start, say we lose on match day 4 to Paris Saint-Germain, we might need to beat Inter Milan away at the San Siro on match day 6, depending on what happens. So yeah, it's going well so far, but there's still half the group to go, and we are far from qualified as of yet. Still, for our third and final game of today's episode, we were back to Bramwell Lane and back to Premier League duty to take on Newcastle United as we look for a return to winning ways here after just one victory in our last 3 games. And taking on the Magpies early on to the game, Ollie Shaw, what a piece of defending there by our number 3 as he clears that cross away acrobatically as it was still 0-0. And in the 36th minute here, still deadlocks, golden chance to take the lead as Walsh plays it through to David Turnbull, holds off his man, takes it around him, comes back out of the area and finds Walsh. Lovely first touch, great little 1-2, but Turnbull denied by Alex Romero as it was still 0-0. So in a half, a few chances, still deadlocked and looking for that breakthrough, looking for that opener. And just before half time, as Walsh takes it around Bass, he rolls it into Reece James, he finds Ivan Toney, and of course, if we were going to break the deadlock in this game, you knew who was going to get the goal. Ivan Toney, the shocker, with his 7th goal of the campaign. He's still leading the way in the race for the Golden Boot this season, and even at 32 years old, he still knows how to score. And Newcastle United fans know this. Even at, let's say, 60 years old, Ivan Toney would still score against them. Every single time we face Newcastle United, Ivan Toney gets at least 1 goal. He loves taking on one of his former teams because he always scores against them. 1-0 as Toney puts in front of his 7th goal of the year, and after a very uneventful second half when nothing happened, we held on for the 1-0 scoreline. So back to winning ways with a big big 3 points here against the Magpies, but our last 2 wins in the Premier League by a single goal. We're not exactly winning convincingly, but the most important thing is we're winning. We look to be back on track now as we continue to keep the pressure on the teams above us, and with that latest victory, we move back into the top 4 and cut the gap on Manchester City to just 5 points. But that was today's episode of Career Mode, guys, so a big thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy today's episode, then please drop a like. Much love to you all, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode, featuring some absolutely huge games, including Manchester City and the second game against PSG in the group stage very soon.